Good morning, everybody. Great to see you here this morning. I'm afraid I'm a bit I cycled very, very fast to get to you, as you can imagine, not wanting to keep you waiting for too long. It's a great joy to welcome MIPIM to London. I thought MIPIM was it Men in Property in the Mediterranean, or Meet Me in the Pool in a Minute, I thought was what MIPIM stands for. I'm delighted to see you. I'm delighted to see you here in London, the property capital, as our host has very kindly said already, the property capital of the world. And they're listening outside as well. I sincerely hope they are. Anyway, listen, I won't keep you long. I had a blast from the past this morning because as I got here, I actually had to cycle down Sinclair Road. Does anybody know Sinclair Road in Hammersmith? Who's lived in Sinclair Road in their lives? Okay, yeah, there we go. The gentleman at the back. Most people in London turn out to live in Sinclair Road. I remember I came to London 27 years ago, and I got together with my then wife, we got a flat in Sinclair Road, and I was thinking as I cycled down it just now, usually there are a forest of estate agent signs outside the homes in Sinclair Road. They're all gone now, and I thought how absolutely impossible it was for my kids, any of my kids' generations, to hope when they come down from university to buy a flat in Sinclair Road. Prices have gone up massively as a multiple of incomes. I'll give you the figures. We bought our flat with a stonking mortgage for $93,000 back in 1987, I think it was. And the average flat in Sinclair Road, according to something called Zoopla, is now worth 1.6 million. And they've gone up £83,000 just in the last year. All prices across London have gone up by 20% in the last year, according to the Financial Times. And I think you'll agree that is in many ways a compliment to London. It's a sign of success, isn't it? It's better to have prices going up on the whole than have prices collapsing, as Mike Bloomberg pointed out to me. It reflects the reality that people love London. They want to live in this city with an unprecedented intensity, and older people are staying in London rather than retiring off to the seaside, where they're living longer and longer, by the way. Older people, so they're not just staying in London, they're living longer and longer in London. Average life expectancy under this mayoralty has gone up by 18 months for a man. I think about, for some reason, slightly less for a woman. Never mind. It's life expectancy has gone up by about 18 months. On the Harrow Road, guess how long they live on the Harrow Road now? The highest life expectancy anywhere. They live 97.1 is the average life expectancy on the Harrow. What are they doing? They're like Caucasian hermits living on nothing but a diet of apricots and yogurt and monkey glands or whatever they've got up there in the Harrow Road. And it's not just older people. We've, of course, got huge numbers of young people. We've got babies being born at absolutely prodigious rates. 136,000 last year alone, more than any year since England won the World Cup in 1966. And the result is, of course, that we face a colossal demand for homes. Millions of our people cannot live anywhere near their place of work. And there is a deep and, in my view, understandable sense of social injustice. Because the cost of a home, that most basic of human needs, seems to recede ever upwards and beyond people's reach. So before we get to the solution to that problem, of which you're all a part, I want to dispose of two currently popular non-solutions. And the first non-solution is to bash London and to suggest that we should start cutting investment in the city in the hope of stimulating other regions of the UK. And you read this from time to time in left-wing comments, and read it all over the place at the moment. And I agree, it obviously makes sense to rebalance the UK economy, to achieve more convergence between London and the rest. And I think it's absolutely crazy that you can drive down a street, as I've done recently in some northern parts of this country, and see fine terraced houses available, yours to buy, for £1 each, or the price of a fish and chips or whatever. And I think we need to sort that out. But the answer is not to punish London for its success, but to give, in my view, the leaders of our great northern cities our great English cities altogether, the fiscal freedom to compete and to invest in transport infrastructure and everything else that will generate employment. And you've seen what we're trying to do with the London Finance Commission, with the movement for fiscal devolution to the great English cities. We should do that, and I hope you'll be discussing that later on. The answer is to connect London up properly with the rest of the country, and I'm a believer in better transport infrastructure. I'm a believer in HS2 if it's done properly. And rather than attacking London, we want to make sure that we see the London effect spread and ripple out across the UK. And you can already see that happening, by the way, in sectors such as tech. The second bad answer to the current crisis is to claim that it is all somehow the fault of international investors and we need to repel their enthusiasm. We need to, with a pitchfork, we need to hop off, you nasty international investors with your foreign money, is the logic of a piece I read in The Guardian the other day. We don't want that. I think that is absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And I would just point out to all those who make that argument that sales by volume to international investors, including the Irish, are now running at 3% in London. Sales by value are now at 6.5% of all sales in London. That's about the same as it's been for the last 20 or 30 years. So we need to welcome international investment to our city to get projects going and to help London deliver the real solution to the problem. What is the real solution? Anybody been paying attention so far? The real solution is obvious, is to build hundreds of thousands more homes. Beautiful homes, family homes with good room sizes, homes that are affordable for all Londoners. And I'm very proud of the record of this mayoralty, because we've not only built so far a record number of affordable homes, we're going on target to deliver 100,000 over the 8-year term of this mayoralty. This year we will build more homes in London than in any year since 1980, before I even came here, before many of you were born, by the look of you. We have more starts on site in London this year than any year since the 1930s, when the Green Belt wasn't even thought of, and you can build more or less anywhere. So that's a fantastic achievement. And how are we able to do that? Where are we able to build? Which are the sites you should be looking at? We've been able to do it because we have fantastic transport infrastructure projects that are critical to the success of this city and to viability. And you all know about what's happening in Battersea, where that old power station, mouldering old power station fit for nothing but the cover of a Pink Floyd album, is now being transformed into thousands of homes and offices and jobs. And that is made possible by the first extension of the tube in 25 years, and that Northern Line extension will be financed by the first TIF, the first tax increment financing system to be used in this city. And that is a great innovation that obviously we hope to be replicating elsewhere. I draw your attention, MIPIM, to a wonderful document which should be with you at all times, called the FALP. Do you know what the FALP is? Babes unborn will be christened FALP in its honour. It is the further alterations to the London Plan, a wonderful document on which consultations concluded on the 18th of September. You should all look at the FALP because it sets out more of what we're doing and where we see the opportunities. And I would cite 5 new opportunity areas: Old Kent Road, Bromley, Canada Water, Harrow and Wealdstone, and Old Oak Common. And Old Oak Common, or we don't know quite what it's going to end up being called, Old Oak City, Park Royal City, Park City, Royal Park City. It sounds a bit like a Korean takeaway, but it'll be an absolutely fantastic place. Old Oak Common is the place to be, because it is the confluence of HS2 and Crossrail, a huge brownfield expanse that could accommodate and will accommodate 24,000 homes and 54,000 jobs, and where we will shortly be setting up a second mayoral development corporation in addition to the one in the Olympic Park to help concentrate the planning process and to drive things through. Now, if we take the 38 brownfield opportunity areas that we're working on at the moment and that you'll discover in the plan and the further alterations to the London plan, we can deliver over the next 10 years, just on those sites, 320,000 fantastic new homes, 370,000 jobs. And we're now working with the boroughs to set up new housing zones that are capable of supplying, with funds from the government as well, that are capable of supplying a further 50,000 homes between 2015 and 2025, including 6,000 new affordable homes between 2015 and 2018, just in those new housing zones. Altogether, we think that if you include town centre regeneration projects, we can get on and deliver 500,000 new homes for London in the next 10 years, 500,000. Now, it is happening, and I don't know whether you had a chance to look at the skyline of London in the last few months, but it is changing and evolving at absolutely extraordinary speed. It is like an accelerated David Attenborough nature film about the return of spring to the Canadian tundra, and out of hibernation, these strange and exotic beavers, the developers are emerging, and their cranes are sprouting and writhing all across the city, and wonderful structures are going up. And I congratulate the developers on what they are doing. And we can build beautiful, beautiful new homes for the people of this city with London brick as the dominant vernacular. Yes, beautiful stuff. With green space, with adequate playing space, with decent room sizes, Parker Morris plus 10%. I can see how thrilled you all look. Yes, we can do it. We can have well-maintained parks nearby. We can have fantastic health facilities nearby, good transport, everything that makes London not just the most coveted city on earth, but also the most livable city on earth. And the most livable city on earth for everybody, for absolutely everybody, because obviously we're building hundreds of thousands of homes that are affordable for social rent. And also for the huge range of people in the middle who don't qualify for local housing allowance and who need a different range of part-buy, part-rent products. And we can do that. And we are doing that at an extraordinary rate. And I just say, finally, to all those slightly xenophobic left-wing commentators, some of whom seem to be assembled outside, apparently. I haven't seen them. They didn't seem to be when I turned up. I don't want necessarily to kick, I didn't want at all to expel any oligarchs from the planet Zog. And I stress, most of my relatives turn out to come from Zog anyway. London thrives on being an international city. But we must get on with building the homes for the people who do a fantastic job of teaching the oligarchs' children and of keeping the streets safe for everybody, oligarchs included, the people who run the hospitals and the theatres and the restaurants and everything else that makes London great, the libraries, the social services, you name it. The journalists even, the consultants, the lawyers. We've got to build homes for hundreds of thousands of people, the hundreds of thousands of people who actually make this city work, and on whom, by the way, the economy of the whole of the UK depends. And I know that together with the support of the people in this room, we can do it. Thank you very, very much for listening to me this morning.